I was like, Kali, isn't there a part where one of the characters has a sister and they have sort of a tense relationship, but she's not a member of the party because she's back at home? But then there's that part where they all go back to Earth and have a big adventure in the real world, and then she gets roped into it, and then later they go back into the digital world and they bring her, so they basically like gain an extra party member, and he's like, and she's like, yeah,
basically,
yeah. And I was like, look at that.
Owns.
I do remember stuff.
That part's the literal like best story arc in most anime.
It's the only part I remember.
Good. Yeah,
and then he the brother is weirdly enough, I like completely didn't know like which character that had happened to. I was like, the blue guy, like the lanky tall blue guy, and she's like, that's not, there isn't one that's that.
Yeah,
I was like, James. She's like, there's not a character named James. I was like, but that's the one that's the girl's brother. So I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to a non-live finale of a video game because things are hard for all of us, and we couldn't be sure that we would be recording right now, so we're not doing this one live. But this is RPG Book Club, and I'm excited to talk about Lost Odyssey with everybody today. I am Sam Hallman.
Oh, I'm Maddie Webbin.
And I'm Bernard Houck. I'm glad I'm not on camera for a live episode because my hair looks terrible right now.
I haven't looked good in like a week.
I look fresh to death because I have job interview hair instead of had a job for a year and a half hair. But
hell yes, though. That's exciting. Is that today? Like later today?
No, it was last week.
Oh, okay.
But, I technically have a job. It just sucks real bad, and I really don't want it. And I hope that they never find this to hear it because I've lied to their faces and said that I'm really excited about it. But I have told them that they don't pay me enough, and the fact that I have to pay for parking at my own job is ridiculous, but that's a whole thing.
That is fucking insane. Wait, so you accepted that job offer?
It's the only job offer I've had, so yes.
Okay. I didn't realize that. No, that's good. It's good that you did. I didn't realize.
Yeah, as soon as I get any other half job offer, though, I will be switching gears.
Yeah, he'll be like, bye. I thought you said you were passionate about this job. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. But the most important thing I've done in the 3 days since last we recorded, at this point I still haven't even edited the episode we recorded for last week because we did that on Friday and it's now Monday.
Without me.
Yeah, because we don't like you actually. But no, it was because the only time we could record, you were at work. And I thought that was true. That's why I didn't ask you. And then you told me that it was true. So this is fake outrage. But
fake news.
The main thing we did is, so last week we had a doctor's appointment. And so it was in the middle of the day on a weekday. And the TV was on CBS. So we were watching daytime television. And an episode of Bold and the Beautiful came on. And on this episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, it was a soap opera, so it was super dramatic, and apparently a girl had pushed her husband into a vat of acid and was trying to hide it from everybody. And we were like, this is ridiculous. We should hate watch this on Saturday when our friend Tara comes in. So now I'm a fan of Bold and the Beautiful. It's so good. Like, I don't even know why. Like, I can't explain it, but like so each episode is only 19 minutes long, and so you get a holy shit cliffhanger at about the time you would get a commercial break in every other show, and so it just keeps on going, and the acting isn't nearly as bad as it seemed like it would be, and the characters are really good, and it's like, and like we jumped in the middle. We jumped in season 27. There's 33 seasons currently.
Christ.
But each season also has like 240 episodes in it. It's a ridiculous thing to try and binge. But we watched 50 episodes over the weekend. And we jumped in the middle. And so it's like we're just trying to figure out everybody's relationship, which if we had been watching since 1987, we would know everybody's relationship. But now that we're just jumping in, like just things like, oh yeah, that's my brother, or that's my ex-husband, or whatever it was, would just like blow our minds. And It was a wild ride, and if you have a subscription to CBS All Access for Star Trek and you're looking for something to do in between Star Trek episodes, give Bold and the Beautiful a shot. Like, I don't know, like, here in 2019, I am cementing myself as a dad and a grown-up because I am suggesting to watch a soap opera, but it was surprisingly interesting and good. So
Bold and Beautiful, more like belongs in the trash.
I have never watched a soap opera, so
yeah.
I have watched a little bit of oh god, I don't remember what it's called now. There's this show that is actually a modern show with modern production values. It's not a soap opera really, but it's a pastiche of soap operas, specifically telenovelas.
Jane the Virgin.
Yes, that show whips.
Yeah.
That show's insanely good.
It's
That's
real
close
good.
I've ever gotten to watching a soap opera, but from what from what I've seen, like, the reason why Jane the Virgin is good, like, the reason you get invested is the same reason you get invested in soap operas, like,
Yeah,
having just the
100%.
crazy twists constantly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show is good. I don't think I'm going to watch 50
Yeah.
or even 1 episodes of the Bold and the Beautiful, or the sequel. Too Bold, Too Beautiful, or Bold and the Beautiful Tokyo Drift, etc. The rest of that bit.
Yes.
But anyway, I'm glad
Bold
that you did.
Five.
What's going on with you, Renard?
kind of lots of stuff.
Have you gotten the big news yet?
At work, they told me we're going to offer you a promotion. And I don't know if I want to take the promotion because it's going to be a lot harder. So now I just have to wait until they actually make me the offer so I can know what the money will be. So I know I have a huge life-changing decision coming up, but I can't possibly make it yet. And I'm just like sitting here internally screaming because I don't like that.
Yeah.
You're like trying to figure out what the factors would be that would sway your decision and what sort of decision you would be making about the information, but you don't have the information yet, so you're just like, it's all theoretical. I've been there.
Yeah, and also I'm internally screaming because the first session of the RPG that I'm going to be running happens tonight.
Oh, God,
and
yes.
I don't have much experience as a game master, and so
I will forward you a quick and dirty PDF of a book by Sly something or other. It's called The Lazy Dungeon Master, and it will change your life of dungeon mastering. It is all genre agnostic. It is just tips on how to not drive yourself insane writing a book every week.
Mm-hmm.
But Sly Flourish,
Cool.
That's his name. Hey, I highly recommend his books. They are
Sly Cooper.
But sorry to interrupt. Did you have more?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm just so tired.
Yeah, I feel that. What about you, Maddie? Have you done
also
anything in the last 3 days?
I'm also so tired. We're all just dying right now. When it rains, it pours, man. No, nothing in particular has happened the last couple of days. I've been waiting to resolve the extremely bad life crisis from before. But unlike last time when I was super stressed about my life crisis because I had to do all this stuff, right now I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to receive a document from the government that will allow me to continue fixing this problem, and I'm really stressed about it. I had a tiny little baby hope that I was going to get it in the mail yesterday, but I didn't.
No
the thing
post
is,
on Sundays.
Well, I actually specifically paid for it to have potential mail shipping on Sundays.
Okay.
I paid extra and checked a box that was like, deliver on Sundays, but I guess it just wasn't actually time to be delivered yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I gonna say? I did that thing, where I get my hopes up about something really good that might happen to alleviate a bad situation, and then it never actually happens, and I'm like, yeah, go figure. But maybe it'll arrive today, maybe it'll arrive tomorrow. We'll see, right?
Mm-hmm.
The longer it goes, the more money this is all going to cost me, and the worse the problem is going to get, but whatever. So I'm just like, and then yesterday was such a long day at work, and today's going to be such a long day at work. I'm just dying. I'm just fucking dying. But my girlfriend is going to be landing on Wednesday evening, so that's awesome.
Nice.
if this can all be resolved by then I'm gonna be a real happy camper.
Yeah.
My life problem will be resolved. GF's in town, having a good old fucking time. Off work Thursday and Friday and Saturday and not Sunday yet. I'm working on Sunday. I might not actually get off Sunday. We'll see. So.
Nice.
Life is fine. Life is fine. Death Stranding is still a really great video game, but I haven't gotten to play it as much as I would wanted to on account of the life things. Is there anything else happening with me? I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
Yeah, 'cause that's our next game. That's exciting. And that's
Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney is really good. I didn't really watch anime as a kid, except when I was a small child. I watched Pokemon, of course. But I didn't really watch anime, but that void was sort of filled by the Phoenix Wright games.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see how especially if you're not familiar with anime, Phoenix Wright would blow your goddamn mind just because of all the regular anime stuff, things being extra and colorful and fun.
And boobs.
And,
boobs.
Yes, and boobs. Yes, and you're a child, and you're well, you probably were what is this in a different kind of way, but I was what is this in the way that a person who likes girls is.
But yeah, let's finish talking about Lost Odyssey so we can all hold each other while we cry.
God, yeah.
And I'll listen to the one new piece of music right now, or maybe later. I don't know. But this is the last track on the album because we've run out. So we'll listen to something. And
wait, or you could play no, play that later. You're gonna play the final boss music right now.
Oh yeah, we did get two new pieces. I forgot because there's final boss. Yeah, so we'll do final boss now, and then we'll do other one later. So when last we left our heroes, we were fleeing from Grand Staff, and Kaim was like, "Everybody, we got to go home because it'll destroy the world if we don't." And Ming is like, "But my boyfriend," and Kaim is like, "That's dumb." And then everyone is like, "But what about your kids?" And he's like, "That's dumb too, I guess." And then it's a quiet, awkward scene, and everyone gives everyone "what you gonna do" eyes, and it's great. So this week we get to do all the side quests in the world. Did anyone do any good ones?
I didn't, because I'm watching the video.
No, I didn't have time. Like I said, because of my life just being the goddamn worst. But I did do. It turns out that the enemies in the final dungeon give real good experience points. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of extra grinding in that final dungeon made me Gucci to Gochi. So that's. Yes. Oh, I did go back and do the ones that you'd already done from last time. Yeah, the flop plus 10.
Yeah, I did not do any, and I dove right in, and then I was destroyed on the first time that the Luminous Magical Beast used his special move. So then I spent 4 hours going and doing side quests to try and find some place that would give me experience, and none of them would until I finally went to the super long bonus dungeon, and I was like, I'm just going to walk around and get a couple treasures and not try to do the whole dungeon because I know the dungeon is 4 hours long and I want to just beat this. But I was getting 1 level per fight again, and I was like,
hell yeah,
this is great. Let me do that. And I am walking around trying to get a chest, and I accidentally press a button that locks off the path behind me and changes the path forward, so I was lost as hell trying to just get back out of the dungeon.
You were Lost Odyssey. Oh, I was going to say earlier, this is our last Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did a lot of that, but I then went back to the thing. I did go and do the side quest that you did last week, the Gungora's place, because the IGN guide was like, yeah, it's a great place to grind. I got 5 experience per mob. It was not a good place to grind, and that was with double experience on.
I guess it would have been a good place to grind earlier in the game.
Yeah, but because the guide was like, yeah, if you go and do it, you'll easily be level 53 by the time you finish it, and I wasn't even getting experience at level 49, so I have no idea what they were talking about.
Weird. Huh.
But yeah, so I finally went in at level 57, and the side quest I had done was I went and got all of the element proof skills to cheese the boss because I need it. Like all of the hard stuff, it still hits hard and it's not elemental, but it makes all of the not as hard stuff not hurt at all, which was great. But yeah, so you make your way to the Tower of Mirrors, and it doesn't look like you would need to do this. It actually looks like you would need to fly up, and one of the cutscenes even implies that you do fly up, but actually you dive under the water to go into the Tower of Mirrors from the basement. And then there's a cool ass scene where like the whole party, like a mod squad, walks to the camera in the Tower of Mirrors, and it's dope as shit. Mm-hmm. So
they pose as a team because think shit just got real.
Yeah, it's super dope. It's the superhero moment from the first Avengers movie, like straight up, and it's great. So you walk up, and Gongora is standing before this giant mirror, and he's like monologues about something. I don't even remember what it was, but then the mirror like opens ish, and it's blasting this huge light over the party, which is like burning the immortals alive. So they scatter.
You mean the mortals?
Yes, the mortals, yes. The humans.
The immortals.
Yes, the immortals. the non-immortal mortals. But so they scatter to the side, and the immortals feel it too. But they're immortal, so they can just tank it. And they realize that it's the feeling of their homeworld somehow, and so they and so they're like, the light will hurt us too. And Gongora's like, well, I'm going to kill you because you actually can die in this place. I never tried. Did the immortals come back after 2 turns here? Because the first time I died before those 2 turns were over, and the second time I never died. So I don't know.
I'm not sure if I remember. My brain wasn't thinking about that. If it could have like happened and I just didn't notice, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. But that would be really cool if, gameplay-wise, the thing you've just kind of relied on and not bought Phoenix Downs the whole game just goes away. Would be cool.
The problem with me is that I often Phoenix Down my Immortals anyway, just because I don't want to wait for them to get back up. I'm just like, no, I need you alive right the fuck now.
Yeah.
Get back up here, you lazy ass.
Yeah, I frequently do, but like if Kayam's the one alive, I know he's not, and he has full HP, I know he's not going to die in 2 turns, so I don't even worry about it.
Have you ever seen a video game where the main character has so much defense?
Never, ever. Like
literally, like, there'll be attacks that kill everyone else, even my other highest HP characters, in 2 hits, and it'll take like 10 turns to kill Kayam. It's insane how much.
I also have absorb magic on Kayam, and just to like insult to injury, sometimes it'll be a party wipe attack, and like everyone will die, and it'll heal Kayam for 1,000 HP.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, if an enemy last week I was going against this one enemy that was kicking my ass. I actually did end up wiping, but every turn it was like every turn he would hit Kayam, and like 2 turns, like 2 rounds, it would hurt him, and then 1 round it would heal him, and then 2 rounds it would hurt him, and 1 round it would heal him. And I'm like, if I get lucky, I could just kill this guy with just Kayam if I just keep trying to hit him.
Right.
It didn't work, but yeah.
Yeah. So Gongora says that he's going to kill the immortals here and then destroy the mirrors, because then he won't be called home. And he already has enough power to become a god here. And we're like, no. And he's like, well, then fight this monster. And so he summons a giant beast to do his dirty work. It's another magical beast like the Arthosauruses. It's just slightly different. And it hits like a big old truck. It has a charge move. Like most JRPGs that give you a charge move, it'll be like, charging my ultimate attack. So then the next turn you defend, and then you defend against the ultimate attack. This one, it charges it up, and then that's just a move it can pull out at any time that it wants to while it's waiting for it to charge up. So you can't like guard against it. You just kind of have to be ready at all times to survive.
You just have to make,
it's cool.
I mean, you got to make sure that your buffs are up. But yeah.
It's cool. It's hard. But when I went back slightly over leveled, I only meant to get like 2 or 3 levels, but because I got lost, I got 7 levels. Like it was a really fun, really hard, good final boss. Gongora himself, not so much, but this boss was really good. Yeah, so it's just a monster. So you just kill it, and then when the fight is over, the party is looking at Gongora, and they're like, "You don't underestimate our 1,000 years." And Gongora's like, "I lived 1,000 years too. Like, what?" And so he pulls out his shiny magic wand he got from Grand Staff and makes himself some crazy
Power
Final
Ranger
Fantasy armor. And
he looks like he looks like a
he looks like a nobody from Kingdom Hearts 2 of some sort, like a black version of a nobody.
I was thinking he looked like Cecil, like Dark Knight, but not like in the game. He looks like, like super over the top Amano art of like a Dark Knight or something like that. He's big and armory and cool.
Yeah, and we then get the final boss music, and it's good. It's got Gregorian chants in it, which is always a plus. It's got a long ass guitar solo.
Mm-hmm. It's got different time signatures. It's just it's Uematsu. It's Uematsu not even giving a fuck anymore. It's like he used to do this orchestral, like this over the top orchestral bullshit, and then someone must have called him out and been like, Uematsu, we know that all this pretentious orchestra stuff is just prog rock. You're not fooling anybody. And then he was like, fine, I'm gonna go in a different direction and start writing like actual good sophisticated music. And then a few more years passing, he was like, no, fuck it, I'm going back to prog rock.
Yep.
I'm not even pretending. I'm not even gonna use like a violin instead of a guitar. It's just Dream Theater, okay? Shut the fuck up. It's just not Nightwish. King, what's that one?
Couldn't tell you.
Like the orchestral, like the symphonic prog band that's fucking really bad. Something with a king. King's Cross. No, that's a train station in England.
Literally couldn't tell you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were into a different kind of bad music when you were a kid.
It's
so also kind of Nightwish.
So we get to fight him, and we are woefully unprepared for it, but it's okay because our human friends are on the sidelines, and they heal you every turn, no matter what Gongora does. It's basically a gimmick battle for the first half, which is really cool. And it's like thematic, everything that happens too. Like, you get decimated down to 1 HP, so Cook does an ultimate healing spell, and then like your GC gets all the way down, so then Mac uses Wallace and it brings your GC all the way back up, and like everybody dies, and Jansen uses, because apparently he's the ultimate white mage, he uses a revive spell to bring everybody back, and it's like everything is thematic and cool from what they do, and I love it.
It's the Final Fantasy IV thing where everyone in the world is giving you energy, except because this is this game, it's just your family members and your friends giving you energy.
Yeah.
Because that's what this game is about, and not everyone in the world praying or wishing if you're Ted Woolsey.
Yeah.
Also, Sam, you said that Gongora decimated your health down to 1 HP, but if you really, I'm just kidding. I'm not even gonna finish that sentence.
I meant I only had 10 HP. I had 10 HP, so it was decimated when it was brought down to 1 HP. But anywho, so after everyone gives you Spirit Bomb energy, Gongora is pissed, so he turns around to the mirror and like starts to absorb.
Wait, we forgot to share a very important part of this, where our heroes go, our party members go and block the mirrors.
That is literally the sentence I was saying, because that has not happened yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that happened before any. I thought that happened before any of this. I'm sorry. Go on.
So Gongora turns to the mirror and starts to absorb its light, which is giving him infinite power. And Jansen is like, "Well, the only way to block this is to block the light. So he rushes forward and is getting burned alive, but he summons like a dome of darkness, and he's like, hey, come and help me and give me your spirit bomb energy, and we can cut their power enough so that the immortals can kill Gongora. And we're like, okay, go ahead. Sarah is like, no, and Chaim is like, it's now or never. And so you then get the real boss fight with Gongora, which was not horrible. He spent way too many turns trying to because he can turn one of your party members against you, but it failed like half of the time. So
you got lucky.
I got lucky real hard.
It worked so much for me. It still wasn't that hard, but it was a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah. The worst part would be like I would set up a Zephyra, and the first turn would go fine, and then the second turn he would take over Sarah and would cancel my healing, and that was like the biggest hard part. But yeah, it probably was the 7 levels that I got. I was probably over leveled. So like even when he took Ming and Ming would use Shadow S on us or something, it was just like 800 damage, which was about a quarter of my health, which is all. But,
yeah, no, I beat all these on my first try. It wasn't too bad, but I don't remember what level I was. I think I was over leveled. But anyway, yeah, it was fine. Yeah. The thing is, you have so many different skills equipped to your dudes with the skill plus 10 that like those skills help so much. It's like your MP's always being restored, your HP's always being restored, your GC's always being restored. You're immune to like 50 different things. Shit heals you like half the time instead of hurting you.
One of the side quests I did, I went and got both Anira's plume and Seth's ultimate weapon and the not quad element, but the one that's status ailments. So instead of having to equip 50 status ailment skills, I just have one that blocks all of them. So I had that, which gave me more room for even more like you heal and your GC goes up sort of utility skills, and it was dope.
Super dope.
But so you take down Gongora and he loses his plot armor, and so he tries to stop Jansen's barrier to get his power back, but Seth is a badass and like literally like cuts him in half. It like cuts to black as she's swinging her sword, so you really think she just like owns this dude, but unfortunately he gets up in like a second. But that doesn't make it any less badass. She does that
super cool thing where he's facing away from her, and she does like one of the coolest ways to do a sword on somebody, which is to like slice them just from fucking top to bottom, like down the back, just like woo, you know. If the game had even more advanced, if it had even more advanced usage of the Xbox 360 video game console, it would have like had like blood spewing out of his back in a vertical line or something like that, and it would like a goddamn anime. Seth is good.
Seth is great. And so everyone's like, yeah, we did it. We beat the final boss. So Jansen, lower your magic barrier. And so Jansen turns off his magic and the barrier doesn't go away. And then everyone turns off their magic and the barrier isn't going away because the the barrier absorbed all the energy coming from the tower. And so it's like a perpetual motion device and just feeding itself. So it's not... it's not letting them down, and so now it's impenetrable and starting to cook the humans alive on the inside, which is not a good thing.
This scene is fucked up.
Yeah, this scene is insane. I also have an extremely slight hypothesis that maybe Gongora had something to do with this. This is like his final like Joker's trick, you know? Is that he makes this... They don't really allude to that in any kind of way, but this does play into his plan. That this does help him succeed in his, or try to succeed in his next goal. So, and Gongora is fundamentally actually a trickster character, not a fighter. So, yeah, I like to think that maybe Gongora did this too.
Yeah, I could see that. So everyone has their last words, and it's excruciating. So like Jansen,
the scene is long.
It's super long. It's like Jansen declares his love for Ming. Mac and Cook are like, it's okay, we're going to go see Mom in the Aurora. And then Sed is like, hey, Mom, I guess after all, I am going to die before you, as if that wasn't a foregone conclusion because you're immortal and I'm not. And
Okay, here's the thing. I legitimately thought they were all going to die.
Yeah.
I did not think there was going to be Deus Ex Machina. I did not think there was going to be a plot thing. Like, the scene went on long enough and was heavy enough that I was just like, oh my god, this is how the game ends. And also, it would be thematically perfect. It's like, the whole point of the game
even on their
is
good
that...
adventures, their mortal friends still die around them.
Yeah, like, the whole theme of the game is that if you're immortal, you're just going to have to deal with loss, and everyone you love is going to eventually die. And it's just like... here it is. Here's all the mortals dying, and it's gonna fucking break your heart. And I was like blown away. But that does not happen. Thank God.
It does not happen.
God, and in this scene, Sarah's just like hollering,
yeah,
and it's really upsetting.
The acting
It's
is
so
so good. She's completely like, yeah, they didn't make the characters have that, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of time video game acting just tends to be too restrained. I don't know. Yeah, she is hollering. Kaim is in his Kaimi kind of way, hollering. He's showing by far the most emotion he's ever shown in the goddamn game. And I like Jansen especially because after he confesses his love for Ming, he's also the first one to just be like, yeah, nah, we're not going to get out of this one.
Yeah.
He kind of accepts it.
And
how will Jansen wriggle his way out of this one?
And then because Tolton doesn't have any family members left alive, his emotional moment is with Ced, and I really liked it. Where he's like, "Come on, Ced, get up." He's like, "I'm way older than you, man. I can't. Like, this is cooking us alive, and I have a lot less alive than you do." So, and it was a really good like brothery moment for our
yeah, also this whole time all of our immortal heroes are like with their swords just hammering away at the barrier, like trying their, like, Kaim is like stabbing it, trying to get this thing to break, and they just cannot.
And so Tolton then sees Gongora standing up, and Gongora is like, haha, I won, because if you either you lose all of your mortals and then I can trap your memories again, or you destroy the mirrors and save people, and then I'm stuck here and I have all my magic batteries loaded up with energy, so like I'm still going to take over the world. Yeah, he said he has like all these backup plans he can do and stuff. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to win, like Catch-22. You either don't close it and I win, or you do close it, which is my goal. So I win. And he's like, so he like he either tosses the wand to Kaim, or the wand was over by Kaim, I forget, but Kaim like picks up the wand and is like deliberating, like, do I save my family, or do I save the world? And so he's like sitting there, and so Seth is just like, nah, I got this. And so she runs over and pins Gongora to the mirrors and tells Kaim to break them. So Kaim hesitates for a second, but then throws the wand, and it shatters the mirror. But before the portal completely closes, Seth pushes Gongora and herself through the portal, and then the light fades and the mirror shatters and the path is forever sealed. And of course the intense, exciting music stops playing and Seth's theme starts playing, and it's one of Uematsu's like best like just sentimental character tunes. It's gorgeous, and of course she looks back at everybody like, bye, and everyone looks at her like, no, Seth, and she smiles because she's smart and she knows she's saving the day and she's enjoying this. She knew it had to happen. This last part is in an FMV, and they finally gave Seth an FMV model instead of just using her regular character model, and it's high poly and pretty, and it's a good FMV, and I like it a lot. Yeah. So exuent Seth. Yeah. So the party recovers itself after the smoke all clears, and Jansen is like, let's get out of here because the place is going to fall apart because we just destroyed it, and we've done that a lot this disc. So let's get out of here. And so they get in the Nautilus, but like everything's too turbulent because it's like imploding on itself. And Seth is like, I can't get the rudder to respond. Like, it's too turbulent. I can't steer against the current. And then, much like Lyram's healing magic, Seth's soul magic shows up and takes over the Nautilus to give it extra power. And Ced can steer it out, and it's great. So, because souls are definitely real. Definitely, well, 100% at least in this case, she's not actually dead. Yeah, and it also it also does, like, it covers that with Gongora's journal, because the whole time Kaim is like, souls aren't real, blah 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 blah, but Gongora's journal is like, the reason we're here is because their souls were totally real and totally were coming through to our world and poison it with their emotions. So Liram's soul is alive, it's just through the gate, and somehow her and Seth could reach back across the gate to help out when they needed to.
Well, also in Seth's case,
it does show it reacting through the mirror. So
but also in Seth's case, they mentioned in the various plot lore stuff that, like, you know, they were looking at Earth and they were seeing all the emotions. So I think maybe even in other dimension, higher dimensional soul plane or whatever, there's like a way of seeing what happens on Earth.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe Seth is literally even, I mean, I like to imagine, I know that they talk about how they like didn't have bodies and it's like a soul plane, but I like to imagine that, like, the other universe is like actually like a normal place, and they're like, I think of all these characters as being almost like scientists.
Yeah.
Like, imagine they're all literally just scientists in a lab investigating what's going on with our world, and then they make this portal and they just choose 5 of them to go through. And now Seth's back on the other side, and all of her colleagues that she hasn't seen in 1,000 years are just like, you're back, because it's only been a year, right? And then she's like looking at the instruments and looking at what's happening and blah blah blah. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Seth and Gongora pop up, and everyone's like, "Hey, buddies, how you been?"
They're like,
and Seth just decks him in the face.
Come to think of it, that's a lot like one of my favorite books, The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell, where they make first contact with aliens a really long way away, and then before the governments of the world can figure out what to do, the Catholics decided, well, we need to evangelize to these people, or at least investigate. So before the governments of the world can figure out their shit, they go ahead and send a Jesuit. They send a team of. They send a team to go make first contact with these aliens, and it's a couple of Jesuits and some other people too, doctors and linguists and stuff. It does not go well.
Yeah.
And let's just say that the one surviving person comes back and they're like, "Hey buddy, how'd it go?" It's just like, well, this is a frame narrative and it's the worst possible shit you can imagine. And they're just like, oh, oops.
That's great. So as the party all pulls out away from the tower rises into the air and does that big nuclear explosion we were worried about. Turns out it would not destroy the world. It just kind of is a big light show in the sky. So our urgency at the end of the game seems to have been false, but it's okay. So then it fades out and we come into the epilogue, and Sarah is narrating because she's writing a letter to Seth, which she alludes later. She now writes all of her journals that she's been writing for the last 1,000 years. She now writes them to Seth, which is cute. But we also see Kaim and Sarah in their civilian clothes, and Kaim is hot.
Okay, yeah, they're
great.
back in their old. Okay, so in all the flashbacks, they would be wearing these clothes, and I'm like, fashion has changed in this world. You know, back 30 years ago, they all wore stupid ass old timey clothes that like look good, but also like they're sort of like pilgrims. But now apparently they've just decided to go back to that.
Yeah, why not? Because they have a farm. They say they bought. So what doesn't make sense to me is they're like, we bought, we all of us are living in Liram's house and not Sarah's house that was huge and nice in a whole dungeon, but they're living in Liram's house, and then they bought a farm, and I'm like, the farms usually have houses on them. I don't understand the.
Do you commute to your farm?
Yeah, I don't understand
maybe they're actually like feudal era Russian landowners, and the farm is actually like somewhere far away that they never go to, and they have and they have serfs who work the farm, and they just sit in their house and write novels while their serfs actually do the farming like 200 miles away.
Yeah. And so Sarah says that.
Well, they did say it was a community farm, so.
And so Sarah tells us that Tolton took his place as king, and I'm like, you didn't want to be king. You should reinstate the republic. Like, I'm worried about the political situation in the so-called peace, but whatever.
Yeah. But no, Sam. See, here's the thing: the whole idea of a republic is just a is a modernistic political concept, and magic energy represents modernism and how it's bad, and
sure.
Everything should just go back to the way things were before, because things were better. And I don't know enough about Japan to really say too much here, but it's the political implications are very interesting. Let's put it that way. I'm just like, are you saying that like we should just go back to feudalism or something like that? Whole modernism it was all a mistake. We shouldn't have bothered. I don't know.
Maybe so.
I mean, the thing is, like, that's sort of right, but you have to expand it until eventually you get to founding cities was a mistake.
Yeah, which...
Not being nomadic hunter-gatherers was a mistake.
Okay, which, let's be clear, is the correct opinion. What do you call those people? Darn it, the anarcho-primitivists. I mean, they make some good points, is all I'm saying. Civilization may have been a mistake.
When I play Sid Meier's Civilization and I click the button to found my first city, I'm like, fuck, I already fucked it up.
Oh my god. Yeah, make like a parody Civilization game where that's like what happens. You make a city and it's like, good job, the world's going to be destroyed in 5,000 years because of climate change, you moron. You utter fool.
I wonder if you actually could be sort of successful to just go around and like recruit barbarian camps and just try to never make a city. Just take the first little warrior it starts you with and go from there. I doubt it, but it would be great.
That would be interesting.
But anywho, so Tolton asked Sarah and Chaim to be his advisors, and they're like, nah. He's like, immortals getting themselves wrapped up in Urin politics is a bad idea. So,
but I hope Tolton has some good advisors.
Because he's fucking
somewhere,
stupid. Yeah.
He's not the best.
I think a good advisor to have would be Sed. Does Sed know anything about politics? No. But he's got a good head on his shoulders. I hope that Sed, who, by the way, is still being, I think, just a pirate, or not a pirate, but at least sailing the high seas, maybe he stops by Tolton's place from time to time, and it's just like, hey, stop being fucking stupid.
And so then they're like, they're like, don't worry, we don't ignore our former friends, even though we keep to ourselves. And then we get costume change number 2 of the epilogue, and they're all in their wedding gear aboard the Nautilus as it heads to Numara, where Jansen and Ming get married, and it's so sweet.
And Cook and Mac are throwing flowers, and
Sarah
they're in real
gets
cute outfits.
Even more boobs. Chaim looks fucking good as hell. He's got one of those
Zed
suits.
Looks ridiculous.
Yeah, Zed looks like a goddamn clown man. But Chaim has one of those suits where the it's got like the frilly in the front, and it's real frilly, like Beethoven looking ass.
Yeah.
And then Sarah is still wearing yellow, and she's even more boobs than usual. And the kids look so cute.
Yeah.
They look really, 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 really good. Man, watching these, every time I see a good scene with the kids, it makes me want to have kids.
Right. I have several memorable moments that are about just how the kids act. The kids don't even have any lines in this epilogue, but they're great. So yeah, they have their wedding ceremony, and after he's like, you may now kiss the bride, Tolton makes a promise that they're going to strive for peace and bring the world back to how it was before Gongora messed everything up, to which all of the Goatsons and the Kents in the audience are just like, yeah, good fucking luck. You leveled our entire fucking countries, so let's try real hard.
I mean, look, scapegoats have historically been a pretty effective political concept. It's just like, hey, all those bad things, it was because of the evil wizard, not because human civilization is difficult and humans have a darkness in them, and war and conflict are not, if not inevitable, at least very difficult to prevent. No, everything was fine. Everything was fine until the Orange Man got into the office, and once he's gone, it'll all go back to normal.
Anywho, so then it fades
orange.
then it fades back out to back on the farm or beach or wherever it was that we were before, and Chaim and Sarah are looking out at the kids, all happy, and Chaim grabs Sarah's hand and is like, "What do you say we go for another millennium?" And it's as sexually charged as when Patrick asked SpongeBob to make another baby at the end of that episode.
Yeah, no, because she's literally like, what are we going to do once we finish raising these kids, which is like our duty to Liram. And Chaim doesn't say it, but he's just like, I don't know, have more.
And it's
eventually the entire world will be our descendants because we're going to live literally forever. So eventually that'll just be how it is.
Right. And the final shot is the camera pulling out, and the magical soul flowers are all abloom and alight, and it's happy. And then the credits roll, and we get to hear the pop song without Jansen singing, and it's great. And who was it that I wanted to shout out? I'm going to our messages because they did the Lord's work in this game. Speaking of the credits.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah. Please, we want to shout out some of the people involved with this game who aren't famous.
Yes, so Roy Sato and Izumi Obata were the visual director and CG movie supervisor, respectively, and they did a phenomenal job in this game. This game is shot like a movie, like straight up, and it's insane how beautiful this game is. And then Yumiko Murphy was the localization manager who did a great job on everything except for the word magic energy.
Yeah, the local. Aside from that, like legit, this localization is really goddamn good.
Yeah, it's
also shout out to. He doesn't necessarily need a shout out because he's actually really famous, but the character designer, is some kind of famous manga artist. Mm-hmm. So whatever, but still,
I forget what manga he did, but yeah, he's a famous manga artist, and I think this was like his first.
It is
game
Takahiko
role.
Inoue.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, it was his first time doing a game. Miss Walker was like, "Hey, let's fucking get this guy."
Yeah, and it was his very first game.
Who was the novelist who wrote the Dreams? Because they got like a real ass regular author to write the Dreams.
Lady. I know that.
Is it Kiyoshi Shigematsu?
Yeah,
yes.
There we go.
Kiyoshi Shigematsu.
Shige.
But yeah, they did great jobs. Everything is spectacular. Especially the localization for the Dreams themselves is like
the localization
sublime.
For the Dreams. The Dreams are translated by Jay Rubin, who is Haruki Murakami's translator. So that dude definitely knows his way around translating Japanese into English. Yeah. So I recognize. I can even recognize some elements of the style in common because I've read a lot of Murakami. So
yeah, it's legit. But shout outs to all of those people. So let's listen to the wedding song, and then we'll talk about our memorable moments, and then we got a couple Q's and A's from the Discord peeps to go through. All right. Memorable moments. What do you have, Bernard? You can do favorites from the whole game. You can do favorites from just this part. You can talk about how much you love this game in general, because it's the last episode.
I love this game so much. I wish I'd had time to just play through the whole thing with y'all, because I've only played through it once, and it was fairly recently, within the past couple of years. I don't remember exactly when, because I have a terrible memory. But from this part of the game, I really liked when Ced, walks up onto the Nautilus in his clown outfit for the wedding, and Sarah is, brushing it off and straightening it on him, behind him, just, brushing it off and straightening it while he talks.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
It's good.
Also, I like when Gongora's like, "You might say within this light, death lives." And Jansen is like, "Oh, yeah, death lives."
Yeah. Go on.
I love Jansen so much.
He's good.
He's great.
Even when he's getting married, he can't stop just muttering to himself. Even when he's getting married, is this one of your memorable moments, Sam?
Related, but go ahead.
Okay. The guy's like, you may now seal your wedding with a kiss, and Jensen's like, oh man, oh shit, oh it's a kiss, oh man, oh god, look at all these people. All right, here you go, Jensen. You gotta really impress people. Don't fuck this up. Ah, shit.
This is my favorite part.
This is your big moment, Jensen. He just won't shut up, and then of course Ming has to literally just grab him and kiss him, which she's just like, Jensen, shut the fuck up. Which is
I love
really,
Jensen.
really, really good. Also, in at least that way, I am Jansen. Sometimes someone just needs to give me a big old smooch so that I'll shut the fuck up.
But speaking of Jansen at the wedding, when he's like, "What do you take Ming to be a lawfully wedded wife?" He goes, "I do." I do. His voice cracks, and it's great. Love it. And then also,
he can't just be normal for one sentence.
Nope,
not even
for one
not
goddamn
even a 2-word sentence. But then also after they kiss the bride, it cuts out to the audience, and his hookers from disc 1 are all there and sad that he got married.
Yeah,
and it's wonderful.
They went to Numara apparently
Right.
for the royal wedding.
I mean, the party
Jansen
probably
invited them.
Yeah, no.
yeah,
Here's what it is. Maybe Jansen invited them, maybe he didn't. But either way, they totally knew that he would at least let them in if they showed up, and they probably knew that the reception was going to be really lit.
Right? But it's great. Maddie, do you have any more?
Yeah, a couple. First of all, the wedding, the part where the priest talks about how they have to, they will love each other till eternity. First of all, has a special meaning in this game, which is very interesting. And also it made me cry a whole fucking lot. So that was fun. Because marriages definitely always go for eternity. And let's see, other things. But the big thing I wanted to bring up that I love is the ending with throwing with who dies and who doesn't. Like I said, when you get to the part where all the kids are gonna fucking die, you're thinking, oh god, this is terrible, but also it would be thematically perfect if this happened. And when I first played the game, I thought that the fact that they didn't die was a little bit of a cop-out. But then I had a little bit of fridge revelation later on, where I realized, wait a second, what's gonna happen in 50 years?
Everyone's going to die.
They're all just gonna die eventually. So actually, it's perfect thematically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they saved them from that, but they're eventually, not too long from now, Ced is going to die. Eventually, Tolton's going to die. Eventually, Cook and Mac are going to die. And our heroes are going to suffer the same pain as always. Probably not as acute.
Jansen will never die.
Probably not as acute of pain, because they will live a long and happy life with these people, but the cycle goes on. And
Kayam also, he also brings that up a little bit, where he's I have a good feeling that they won't be as sad from here on out. So it won't be like, oh, everyone I love dies. It's like, no, I'm it's part of the beauty of it, because now they've learned to love life more than fear death.
That's that's what I absolutely adore about the ending of this game. Like, it just ends with Kaim and Sarah being like, let's go for another 1,000 years. I feel like it won't be as sad this time. Like, their situation hasn't changed.
Mm-mm.
They've just, grown as people and have figured out how to enjoy what they have and while they have it. And I didn't explain that very well, but it's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, no, they've learned that what really makes the world beautiful is the good and the bad, you know? Also, at one point, there's a line where, like, they're like, what this world really has is imagination. And then they say something like, it's almost like the world itself was created by imagination. And I was like, oh, you mean like the imagination of Hironobu Sakaguchi? But yeah. I think it's a little interesting that they're not like, let's get involved in politics and try to make the world a better place. But maybe they're just like, it's really not our business. We will probably fuck it up, but even if we don't, we should just be farmers, let the humans sort it out. Except for Ming, of course, who was like, I'm going to be a queen of one of the world's superpowers, apparently.
But she does at least keep it isolationist, so it's almost like she's just keeping her family and her people alive. And so now she's a little less isolationist, but I still got the feeling that she's not going to be Kakanis and try and take over the world. She's just going to keep everything chill and not go for power. That's the main difference between Ming and Gongora in my eyes. Is like she was trying to just take care of her extended family of Numara and not fuck up everything else.
Another thing I really like...
It's okay for someone to have absolute power if they're okay.
Yeah.
If they're chill.
Yeah, that's okay. Just have a good king. Anyway, I really like how Seth Stamps was handled because, like, this is, only, all things considered, as far as melodramatic plots go, only one major character dying is a pretty good record. But they really don't. They really hit it hard. Like, oh, right, one person dying is a big deal. Like, they're all really sad, and they kind of go on about it for a bit. It's, like, very dramatized, and I think that's really good, because, again, like, I've played other games or seen other movies or TV shows where, like, someone dies as a sacrifice. You've
experienced a great tragedy, but you still have to go to school the next day.
Yeah, like someone dies, and it's a big tragedy, and then they're just like, well, on to fighting the boss, or something like that. And it's like, wait, no, they really settle with this. Also, there's a line where Cook and Mac ask, or one of them asks, "Is Seth dead?" And Kaim's like, "No, she's not dead. She just is on the other side and is no longer." No. Sarah.
Actually, Kaim said,
"Yeah."
Actually, like Cook and Mac said, "Is Seth dead?" And
yeah, Sarah.
Tolton's like,
or Tolton. Yeah.
Tolton is like, "Isn't it the same for an immortal?"
Yeah.
And Kaim is like, kinda.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get at, is that, kind of is like, no, like, not being immortal anymore kind of is the same thing as dying. She's going to die eventually, normal style. I also like how they all have optimism. They all do talk like they're going to see her again. Maybe one day they will go back through the mirrors like they're supposed to. Maybe somehow Seth will come back through. They're probably just being hopeful, but I like how they all act in that way. Anyway, memorable moments, actual ones besides just my feelings. Let me open up my phone. I only have one or two.
While you do that, I have one
concepts.
more.
Go for it.
So while they're on the beach, Kaim and Sarah are having like the plot, but they're watching the kids play, and the animations of the kids playing are just so detailed and great.
Yeah.
Like they're like trying to pick out this like clear seashell that they see, and so they're like messing with the rock and like digging down in it, and they're so excited and they're jumping around, and the animations are like exquisite, and I love it. And then at the very end, when they're having their family moment, Cook does a thing that Scarlett does all the time, but Cook's like 12, so she shouldn't do it, but it's okay because it reminded me of my 2-year-old, so it's cute, where like she grabs their hands and then just like jumps to try and like make you pick them up by their arms type thing. And so she like just does that a couple times, and it's adorable. And
it doesn't take, yeah. Another thing is just the Jansen and Ming's wedding outfits. I got a really good frontal screenshot of them, and Jesus, it's good. Jansen cleans up nice because he's a very pretty boy. The front of his outfit, it's like a suit, like a white suit, but then the front is like golden, like cascading regalia, and then like this giant fucking, I guess it's a tie, this giant blue tie going down the middle with like an insignia on it, and then Ming is wearing something that's mostly a wedding dress, but then the top is like very sheer and lacy, and then it's got this big thick, there's a lot of collars in this game, a lot of neck stuff going on in all of the character designs. So she's got this really, really tight white lacy collar that goes up really high, and then her hair has like blue flowers and this enormous, her headdress is, or what do you call the part that goes on top for a wedding? Veil.
A veil?
Her veil is actually just like a giant weird hat that goes behind her, and it's like all these ribbons and shit like that, and then she's holding flowers, which is cool. Also, we talked earlier about how this game actually has some interesting gender stuff where oftentimes things are weirdly gender neutral sometimes. I don't remember what it was. It was like it's like 2 months ago, but there was something earlier in the game that was like a very gender neutral thing.
Well, like it appears that Jansen wears makeup for one thing.
Oh, no. It was like something about the world building where something that is that was Dragon Quest V. We were talking about the wedding vows in Dragon Quest V. Well, and how a lot of that game bucks against heteronormative relationships, which is funny. This game also does that. The wedding vows, the bride and groom walk in at the same time, which is cool. They don't do that whole thing where it's like everyone gawk at the bride, especially because it's like it's their queen. They see her all the time. If anything, they should be gawking at the groom because A, he's a ruffian and that's surprising, and B, he's hot. They walk in together, and then the vows are just, hey, Jansen, do you take Ming? Ming, do you take Jansen? Cool. Y'all have a kiss now. And it was really nice. I really liked how that was written. I always like to see how cultural things like that are written in fantasy stories. You know, like how does it differ from our world in slight ways? So,
yeah, it was really good.
That's it for me.
All right. So now let us talk about some questions and or answers from our people on Discord. So technically the first question was, who do you want in Smash? But the better question is the second half of it is, what do you not want in Smash Brothers?
I mean, Banjo-Kazooie, but that ship has already sailed.
Like, I don't want Sora and I don't want Goku, but also if it was Sora or Goku, I would be stoked. So
if they added Goku, it would be so goddamn hilarious. Even though Goku objectively should not be in Smash.
Yeah.
I can't think of any things that fans might be clamoring. Ridley was another one I didn't want in Smash. That ship has sailed. Also, turns out Ridley's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't want Sora in Smash. I think that would be weird. And also, just because, stuff about him is tied up in Disney stuff, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because all of the things that would make him not a sword guy would need Donald and Goofy there, and then you couldn't do that because Disney. So it's he would just be sword guy with crazy air combos.
Here's somebody I don't want. Sephiroth.
Yeah. I don't want Sephiroth.
I haven't heard anyone saying that. I'm just wait, if they wanted to add another Final Fantasy character, that might be one of the contenders, because he's also from FF7 and is a famous, beloved, character. God, if they added another FF character and it was Sephiroth or even anyone else from 7, I'd be really upset. And I say that as someone who loves that game.
What Final Fantasy character would you want to be another Final Fantasy rep?
Oh God! There's so many wonderful.
I have an answer. Terra is a good answer. My answer would be Lightning. Course. As much as 13 is.
They already have Cloud in the game.
And as much as 13 is not on a Nintendo console.
I mean,
Ooh, they should have
7
13
wasn't at
on
the time the
Switch.
cloud was added, so...
Yeah.
That's true.
No, they should do a deep cut. They should add, like, butts or something.
Man, I would love if they did butts.
I would love if they'd done butts when they added Snake.
God. It's true. It's true. They should have. I don't know. I would be hard pressed to pick a character from FF6 or even 4 because they're all so good, you know? Like Terra's awesome, and I guess it's her story primarily, but Celis is awesome, and Sabin and Cayenne are so good, and
I mean,
Shadow.
With how everyone in Final Fantasy VI is just a mage after you get to the halfway point of the game, they could potentially do like
Yeah, that's true.
several. And
Oh,
it'd be
here we go.
about
Yeah, that's true,
casting.
because that game has a problem where every character is the same character. Okay, no, here we go. The compromise pick. But actually, I think it's great. Go-Go.
Go-Go.
Go-Go would be a great pick because it's like, it's no one's favorite, but also, like, he fucking owns. We all know this.
Yeah.
Like he looks, well, actually, probably she looks cool as shit. She can do all the different moves, or another compromise pick, but actually makes sense for Final Fantasy in general. Mog.
A Moogle. Yeah.
Yeah, it could either be a Moogle or it could be Mog from FF6. Either way,
Be good.
that would actually make the most sense. They should add Mog.
Are we moving on to characters that we actually do want to see?
Yes,
I guess
and I
we
know
are.
that you
I
have a
couldn't-
list.
Sounds like we are.
I weirdly enough didn't actually have a strong opinion on Don't because the only two I didn't want are already in the game.
Because I have a big list.
Oh yeah. This is something Bernard thinks about a lot.
It is. So, quote and Curly from
Yes.
Cave Story, like they would be different skins of the same character. Paper Mario.
Yeah, I'm surprised
That'd
Paper
be
Mario
amazing.
isn't in it.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
that's
because there's so many Marios, and Paper Mario would own so much.
especially if you lean into his Thousand Year Door aesthetic, where he's like paper airplanes and
Doing all sorts
all
of
that
paper
other
stuff?
stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And not just being another Mario like Dr. Mario is.
Oh no, I don't think it would be a Mario clone. He would use his hammer and his buddies.
Yeah, he'd be like totally different. Oh, maybe they could be one of those really sort of slightly too complicated gimmick characters where you have a buddy with you all the time and can like switch it like Shulk.
That could be cool.
Oh man, that'd be too much.
That'd be real cool. It'd be like a mixture between
Kazuma
Shulk,
Kiryu?
Rosalina Luma, and Pikmin. What do you say?
That'd be too much. Anyway, my next person is Kazuma Kiryu, or Kiryu Kazuma. I'm not sure which is correct.
Is that Yakuza guy?
In which we would say, yes, it's Yakuza guy. Waluigi,
Hell yeah.
of
Of course.
Rex and Pyra from Xenoblade 2.
Yeah.
Dark
They seem
Souls
like
guy.
an inevitability at this point.
I would love Dark Souls
Yeah.
guy.
Dark Souls guy would be
Doom
great.
guy or BJ Blazkowicz.
I would love Doom guy. That would be so fucking funny.
Rayman.
Oh, I don't want
Rayman's
Rayman.
good.
That's one I don't want.
No, I
Okay,
do want Rayman.
fair.
I want Rayman a lot.
I honestly find it weird that Rayman isn't in it because, Rayman. I forget which Rayman game, but like one of the Rayman games was like a Wii U exclusive for a while.
yeah.
Raving Rabbids.
Ubisoft
the
and
whole,
Nintendo.
The whole Rabbids
No. The
series
second
was Wii only.
Yeah, which is like
But
sold
like
so
Rayman
many.
Legends or Rayman
Yeah,
Origins was a
Rayman
Wii U
Legends was Wii U
exclusive.
exclusive for a while, timed exclusive. Yeah, but I mean, think of
But
how
like
many.
Ubisoft and Nintendo are tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think of how many Wii's Raving Rabbids sold to retirement homes.
Yeah, for sure.
Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
And Knuckles.
Yes. Leon S. Kennedy.
Hell yeah.
Put Danganronpa on Switch and put Monokuma in Smash. Or put the Nier games on Switch and put 2B in Smash.
Hell yes.
Monokuma.
And I would
great.
say Phoenix Wright, but I have no idea what he would do.
So Phoenix Wright is in the that weird Pixel Smash fan game that I found all those things
Mugen?
for. No, not Mugen. It's like Card Battle Tactics. It has a really bad name, but it's
He's also in like Marvel vs. Capcom.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just haven't played Marvel vs. Capcom, but like he's been in things, and so it could totally work.
Here's the thing. him being in a normal fighting game kind of makes sense. Like, I can imagine him shuffling back and forth and doing points, but, like, Smash, imagine him, like, double jumping. It would look so goofy to see this 30-something Japanese man just jumping around.
I love it.
And that's pretty much all I got. The only other person is, I think Lara Croft would deserve a place in Smash,
yes.
but I'm not sure what she would do either, because she pretty much just, like, has gun and climbs on stuff.
I actually have one more extreme do not want list. Funny enough, I actually realized that I actually don't want Quote and Curly. And the reason is because fucking Nicholas has, like, completely yoinked all of the rights to that game from Pixel and are terrible. And if they did that, any licensing money would go to Nicholas. And I don't want to reward them for being
So the
awful.
solution would be to put not
Carol
Sergeant
Blaster?
Frog. Yeah, Carol Blaster and
Hell
Ika-chan.
yes. Hell yes. I love Carol Blaster, who has definitely appeared on Nintendo. Put Carol Blaster on Switch. It's a goddamn incredible video game.
Yeah. Also, report Ika-chan everywhere because it's so good.
It's really good. It's really good.
I haven't played Carol Blaster or Ika-chan.
Carol
You
Blaster's
should.
so goddamn
I'll send you
good.
the QR code for Ika-chan for your 3DS.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was Pixel's
yeah.
game before Cave Story, and it's freeware.
Yeah.
No, I know about Ika-chan.
Oh, okay.
Right. He was saying that he doesn't know what
I understand.
what piracy is. But
I really don't.
our next sort of not at all related question comes from our good friend Metal Shooty Bus Matt, and he says, "What JRPG series would you like to bring back to life, and you can't say Wild Arms?"
Shin Megami Tensei, because I want to fucking play Shin Megami Tensei 5, but they announced it like 2 or 3 years ago and haven't said anything since.
Now, I'm
Breath of
holding
Fire.
out. Breath of Fire would be dope. Breath of Fire, they actually gave their mobile trash game the number Breath of Fire 6, and
I know.
I want Breath of Fire 6 to be a game and just call itself Breath of Fire 6 and just not even bring up that mobile game and undo
Imagine if
that.
Breath of Fire 7 or whatever was like, as groundbreakingly ambitious and wild as Breath of Fire 5. It'd be fucking cool. Or even if it was just a throwback classic JRPG like Breath of Fire 4, it would. It's a good fucking series. It turns out it became eventually after being bad at first.
The first two actually are phenomenal. They just have the worst localizations. So
I don't know. The first one is, even localization aside, pretty dull. But I have heard that about the second one, though. I have heard that.
Yeah, Mado, Clyde Mandolin from Legends of Localization, he said that he really, really loves Breath of Fire 2, and it's tragic how bad its localization is.
Isn't Mado the Mother 3 translator?
He is.
That's how I recognize his name. What a man. King. Absolute king.
Yeah, he's great. But
Speaking of which, if Shigesato Evertoy ever decide to make Mother 4, of course I would holler for 10 years.
For sure.
And then I'd holler about it not coming to America.
I would love a new Star Ocean, which, by the way, everyone listening to this, you are contractually obligated to pick up Star Ocean First Departure R this December, because if you do that, then this question will become reality, and they'll make a Star Ocean 6. But Star Ocean 5 was great, but it was basically this like young hotshot came in and he's like, we're sitting on a gold mine with Star Ocean and we need to revamp it and it'll be super successful. Trust me, give me the keys to the kingdom. And they're like, all right, young hotshot, let's see what you can do. And then me and Trey Huffstedler bought the only copies, and it did not do well. And so I have a feeling it will be dead. And they had a mobile game that nobody liked, and then I'm very surprised that we're actually getting this port of the remake. So everyone should purchase this port of the remake to show that the series isn't dead, because it's phenomenal. Every game is good, even the one I hate. The one I hate is phenomenal until the plot point at which I hate it. But
Which one is that?
3.
Yeah.
That's the one on PS2,
Yes.
right?
And that's
Yes, I hear people loving it and hating it.
Yep. It is sublime up until the plot point that starts disc 2, and then you're just like, you know what, I'm good, I'm done. But Yeah, that's my answer. I love Star Ocean. Want to see more of them. Want to have more Star Trek episodes in space in my RPG.
This isn't really an RPG series, but I would love to see a sequel to Super Mario RPG because, like, Mario and Luigi is super good, Paper Mario is super good, but Super Mario RPG is just such an interesting, unique thing. It would be cool to have another game, another Mario RPG in that style.
Yeah, because
made by Square Enix.
Yeah, because Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi are, I don't know, I guess those are what you would expect from a Mario RPG. They're light, they're fun, they translate Mario mechanics into RPG mechanics. Mario RPG is just like, no, we got Square to do it, and they're doing all this crazy melodrama stuff, and the art style's weird, and the battle, it's like, yeah, and imagine modern Square making one. Like,
so, fun fact, both Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi, the teams that make them, came from the people that worked on Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG was the last thing that Square and Nintendo played nice with each other for, and so when they split, the people that made Mario were like, yeah, but it was fun playing with Mario, and so they jumped ship and went to make Mario and Luigi for the GBA, half of them, and the other half went to make they joined the Fire Emblem team, because Fire Emblem are the people that make Paper Mario, which is wild.
Now, Paper Mario was
also
originally
the people
called...
that made Advance Wars back when they made Advance Wars.
Yep.
Paper Mario was very early in development called Mario RPG 2.
Yeah.
And there's screenshots of, like, the town from the beginning being the same name as the town for like, being called, like, Mushroom Kingdom instead of whatever it's called, like, being, like, the same town name and stuff like that. So, yeah, interesting.
Also, it's only been one console generation since the last one, so it's not exactly dead, because we only ever get one per console generation, but I want a new Paper Mario on the Switch.
Yeah, 100%, me too.
I haven't played Color Splash, but I don't know.
I've heard Color Splash.
And nobody talked about it, so I don't know if it's good or not.
I've heard Color Splash has the best localized script in, like, any Nintendo game, and I'm excited to get to it.
That makes sense given how the series had been going. Those games have amazing localizations and amazing soundtracks.
Yeah. I just want to finish Sticker Star before I go over to it. But Under the Wire, that literally just came in 1 minute ago. Why is Final Fantasy VIII's narrative such a mess? I think it's a joke question, and we don't have to answer it.
I reject the premise of that question.
Me too. I think Final Fantasy VIII's narrative is actually one of the best. Everyone talks about the quote-unquote twist being fake, but I didn't even, like, remember it growing up. I remembered the actual twist with the stuff with Ultimecia at the end. It completely overshadows the orphanage bullshit.
Here's the thing about FF8. It is 100% about feelings. And it is 0% about any level of wonkish plot detail. Every single thing that happens matters because of emotions, not because of how all the pieces fit together or whatever. It's very fair. People call it Lynchian because it's so weird sometimes. But no, it's very Lynchian in that way. It actually is very much like David Lynch because of its emotional logic being the clear like center of the game, you know?
And it's great. And we should play it on this podcast one day.
I would love that.
I would love that too. It would get me to play it.
Yeah, it's good.
Because I need to replay it because I played it a long time ago and don't remember it at all.
Yeah, I played it back in, like, middle school. It was my, like, third ever RPG, and it stuck with me really hard. And I remember, like, going on forums and discussing the head case of the ending and everything. And so all of the major points have stuck in my head, but I don't remember any of the like middle pieces. So I definitely want to go back and play it. But speaking of things we should play, in case you missed it at the beginning of this episode, starting next week, 7 days from today, we will be, well, not we, you guys will be recording an episode about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney for the probably DS family of systems, well, how everybody will be playing it. But it was originally for the Game Boy Advance, which is wild to me.
And it sure is an RPG.
Yep. It definitely is.
What are we? We're just playing like the first chapter, right? Like just one chapter per episode or something?
One case. It'll just be one case per episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wait. We might want to rethink that. For the first, like...
I was about to say... maybe the last case should be 2 episodes, because case 5 is long.
Sam, imagine if you're playing Danganronpa.
I just know there are 5.
Sam, imagine if you're playing Danganronpa and you're doing the class trial, but then like the class trial reaches like an impasse basically, and then they're like, okay, we need to have a recess. We'll meet back here tomorrow, and then you have to do it all again.
Okay.
The investigation, the everything, and then you have like another trial because there's been even bigger twists. It goes on, yeah. But anyway, at least the first 2 or 3 chapters should definitely just be 1 per episode. Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I have not played it, so I just saw that there were 5 chapters, and I'm like, perfect, perfectly long. But y'all can do the nitty gritty because I won't be here.
Yep, sure will.
Yeah, I will be taking paternity leave for 2 games worth. So I'll be gone for this one, and I will also be gone for the next one, which is, I think if I remember correctly, the theme was 2. It was 2 games that are really short and super connected versus 2 other games that are really short and super connected.
Yep.
So it was East 1 and 2, but I don't remember. Oh, Star Tropics 1 and 2.
Yeah,
so
Star
those
Tropics.
will be those will be what it
Vote
is.
for ease.
I will have a post up to let you guys read about them and vote on them probably next week if I remember to get around to it. But yeah, I think that's it. So if you like what you hear, you can hit us up on our website at www.rpgbook.club. It has links to all of our socials, including our Discord and our Twitter. And it also has a link to our Ko-Fi, which is at ko-fi.com/rpgbookclub, where you can help us keep the lights on around here and vote on our next game, and also sponsor bonus episodes when we have them open. Those should be open after I get back, because I don't want it to somebody to buy one before I can actually do anything about it. But come hang out. We're cool. We're not cool, but we try to be cool. And
hey, speak for yourselves.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Like I said, none of us are cool, but all of us pretend. And yeah, we look forward to everyone who comes and hangs out with us. We haven't gotten any new people super recently, but we have had a couple not too long ago. Like Owen is a friend of Desert Stream, so welcome, Owen. And I think that's all I got.
Yeah, and thank you, Bernard, for joining us for this game.
Absolutely.
Always love to have you.
Oh, also,
it's fun.
Tomorrow recording, don't know when I'll post it, we will be doing our movie night for this game to be Highlander, another great, quote-unquote great cult classic thing that has to do with immortals. So it's thematic. So we'll be doing that. It'll be live eventually. I have 3 episodes to edit this week before I take off for 8 weeks. So for RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
Oh, I've been Maddie.
And I have been Bernard Hauk.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. See ya.
Goodbye.